Okay, great. Thank you, everybody, for your time. I know it's busy days, so I appreciate you taking 15 minutes. We are going to talk with Executive Vice President Max over at gambling.com. Now, if you don't know much about gambling.com, it is an overnight success that took 15 to 20 years to build. Charles, the founder, has a really interesting podcast where he is discussing his business on an iGaming Next platform. So I certainly recommend you all check it out. A little bit about gambling.com. You all are the first and only affiliate listed here in the United States.
That's right.
Was that painful?
It was a lot more investor relations work than we previously were accustomed to as a privately held company. But also we're traded in Stockholm for a short time. But it's been a learning process for all of us. But it's given us some liquidity to do some M&A, namely buying Bonus Finder and RotoWire.com more recently.
Nice.
So it freed us up to make some moves in the
have some cash to make some M&A right
sure.
on. Bonus Finder, yes?
Yeah, Bonus Finder. It was run by Finton Costello and a few others. So
right.
Industry vets.
Pretty savvy M&A. Okay, so the discussion is, yes, North Carolina is legalizing here on March the 11th. Interesting. We haven't had an awful lot of states that have legalized here recently, but I guess the question is how can you make money in New Jersey? Can you make money in states where previously it launched 5 years ago? We'll start there.
Sure. I think the affiliate business as a boon for the industry is very influential. As soon as the market opens, you take North Carolina, you can pre-register right now, but next Monday at about noon, you'll be able to wager responsibly in North Carolina. So that's a huge effort for an affiliate business to give you a very large and substantial tailwind. But in more mature markets like New Jersey, for example, there are more headwinds because it's not a new nascent market, right? And so for us in those markets, you have a couple different things that can happen. One, you have two products. So you have products that are a tailwind because not only can people wager on sports responsibly, they can play live slots online responsibly, and they're able to touch both products rather than just one like you'll see in North Carolina. Second to that is because of the skin structure and how the policy is written in New Jersey, you're able to have new brands constantly enter the market. And as a new brand, the lifeblood of a new brand is to have new users. And that's exactly where affiliates as the tip of the spear are able to deliver new users. So for example, I think Prime Sports is scheduled to launch in New Jersey in a couple of weeks.
Very interesting.
And so as a result, it's a new brand that's going to need new customers.
Yes.
And the affiliate business is the most efficient way for operators to gain new customers.
And Prime is a good example where they are, they're offering, we're going to take huge bets.
Sure.
Like we're on the sports better sides, which is a slightly different take and probably a great one for the affiliates that are in New Jersey. Jackpocket just recently launched in New Jersey as well.
Sure.
So that these new brands that are coming along are great opportunities for you all in some of these older states.
Absolutely. There's not only new brands but also new types of products and the brands within those products. So there is new players that are not only getting exposed to new types of products, where if I was just a recreational sports bettor, I now have access to other products like Prize Picks or Underdog or Jackpocket or other services that are real money or social gaming.
Right.
And it's an opportunity to gain a user at the point in which they show some intent, which namely is Google and organic search, where we're able to dominate most of those search results.
And so we're talking a little bit about products, and those are appealing to different segments of the market. What have you all learned in the past 5 years just about, okay, so we know what our game plan is for North Carolina. You probably have learned a lot in those in pre-reg days, in the plan leading up. But what are some of those things that you've learned in some of those states where sports betting and iGaming have been legal? Michigan, the Pennsylvanias. What are some of those things that you all have learned and is maybe part of your toolkit now going forward?
Sure. I think as a company specific to us, but you see Better Collective, Katina, some other larger affiliates follow some similar playbooks where we have assets that are national assets, right? So we have a site called bookies.com that is our national sports asset. We have a smaller site called betcarolina.com that is purely focused on North Carolina market. So we focus on different demographics, And with our media partnerships with Gannett, which is USA Today and USA Today Sports, and the McClatchy Company, we're able to not only mix our demographic of just the assets we have, but also focus on different types of consumers that are, maybe they're just trying to learn about sports betting or learn about where a bill specifically is. But there's also folks that want to know, how can I deposit today with a promo code and get a specific deposit bonus? And so for us, that's what we've learned more than anything, is you need to diversify your business, not only from the affiliate side of pure real money gaming depositing customers, but also some B2C subscriptions or advertising revenue, and diversifying not only just in the pure play affiliate, but how do we help consumers learn more about sports betting and gain an advantage.
And so when we look at other states, you mentioned the Bet Carolina. Talk to me a little bit about how you all see the market changing, and maybe how different things are in Colorado versus a Pennsylvania versus a Carolina. I mean, if you mention the Tar Heels and Duke in college basketball, yes, you're going to tap into the passion point of a lot of people that live there. How are you all approaching that, maybe from a tech perspective or from a content perspective?
Yeah, I think the content totally changes, right? You're not only telling people, hey, sports betting is now legal in North Carolina. We're now showing them content around, if you want to bet on the Blue Bloods of North Carolina and Duke, we're able to show you content and picks and tips. But I think outside of that, the climate around operators has also changed in their ability to commercialize their affiliate relationships differently, where in the past, even in New Jersey with just online casino, 2015, 2016, 2017, just massively large CPAs. And now we've shifted to a more sustainable model in some states where operators are now able to do hybrid deals and compensate affiliates on a rev share basis in the states that it's applicably available. So not only is the content strategy shifted, I think our commercial strategy has also shifted to become more sustainable, a la what we see in Europe, where we focus on the lifetime spend of the customer versus just that initial market opening. And that's really, the level of maturity in a market is hard to define, but we have many different anecdotes that operators are now open and the relationship is conducive to making sure that we're sustainable.
Yeah, I mean, then that way, it's not a big CPA up front. The operators are a little more amiable to allow you all to prove yourself on the quality of traffic that you're bringing into those operators. Just around the commercial side of things, there are certainly some states now that we're, if I ever confuse everybody and say that a state is mature, I apologize. I don't think any of them are mature, but there are some that are more mature than others. And they're looking at tax policies and the changes in how the states are maybe looking at their own revenues. How does that affect Gambling.com? How do you all look at that, and what are some of the things that you all are doing maybe operationally to accommodate that?
Certainly could be defined as some trickle-down economics, right? If an operator is paying more money in tax, they have less money to spend in marketing and even other facets as well, trading and however they run their business. So I think that is also lends itself to why rev share is more important. But you also have several new entrants into the market. You have Fanatics launching in many states over the past several weeks and months. ESPN has started to show signs of life in many states, and in North Carolina, we'll see it will be a starting line for everyone at the same time next week. And I think we'll be able to see exactly a different mix of market share, perhaps, than what we've seen in previous market launches.
Interesting.
And I think that's something that the industry will look towards, where you'll have a different data point for maturity, right? Market opens on March 11th. Let's see how it looks in 6 months and 12 months and compare and contrast that to different markets. And when you couple that with potential casino legislation, online casino legislation, you start to get some more tailwinds that those headwinds become much less cumbersome than they previously were.
Yes, I think there's a few states that are looking to legalize online casino. I think there's been discussions in these panels. How do you all approach that? You've been in a market now for maybe a year or two, and you've got you've been acquiring customers on the sports side. How do you all approach the possibility of the legalization of online casino?
It's something we take very seriously, to the effect that we purchased casinos.com very recently, have relaunched casinos.com over the past several months. That is in preparation of online casino being more across many more states than just the couple we have right now.
Yes.
And there's a lot of rumors, and everyone has their own opinion on what state is going to go next for online casino, whether it's Maryland or Indiana or Illinois. We'll see. I'm not totally comfortable projecting what I think will happen.
Sure.
Everyone has their own opinion.
Right.
But I think online casino is something that will be in this industry, and over the coming years, we'll be talking about more and more.
Yeah, big opportunity, I'm assuming, for affiliates as well. And maybe just talk a little bit about your role in the industry. I'm a huge proponent of the affiliates. I think they serve a really important job, and I think that operators are starting to see how important that is. In the customer acquisition space, especially in more mature states. Maybe just talk a little bit about how you all, the pros. Why affiliates? Why invest in relationships if you're an operator with affiliates?
I think the easiest way to answer that is that we're performance-based. We're not asking for any dollars up front. We will get compensated if and when we send you depositing qualified customers.
Yeah.
It's not a lead. It's not a registration. It's a depositing customer where we get compensated. And I think serving as I mentioned before, effectively the tip of the spear as most people engage with sports betting through Google and organic search. And our role that we play, not just gambling.com, the rest of the companies that are also serve as affiliates and many are publicly traded, are able to guide users and potential customers to the right place.
Yes.
I think that's something that we're able to leverage, not only in relationship with operators, but also regulators, where we're able to communicate, hey, this is how sports betting generally works.
Yes.
How do people find us? How do we make sure they're gambling safely, responsibly, but also with licensed operators? And as we dominate most Google searches, if you look for North Carolina sports betting apps, you're going to end up with a operator shown by an affiliate that is well known, is responsible, works in only white markets across not only the U.S. and U.S. states, but also globally.
Just real quick, on all of the states are regulated very differently.
Sure.
How do you all approach that? I'm sure you all take a very educational approach, trying to teach the states exactly how it works as well as possible. But maybe just tell some of your experience on what right looks like.
Yeah, I think right looks fair and open and able for affiliates to operate, right? If you negate the ability for operators to perform the service that they do for the industry and operators and get compensated effectively for that,
yes,
it creates an environment where consumers can be misled greatly. Because if affiliates are not able to operate in a specific state, we're not going to invest resources to create the content that dominates those Google search results. And then you get folks looking at different casinos that are either offshore or illegal in some respects or unlicensed. There's a bunch of different flavors of not legal or licensed by that specific state regulator.
Yes.
And that's generally our message, is if affiliates don't exist, what does the world look like? And that's a fairly easy picture to paint, namely because it mostly affects the end consumer, which the legislation and the regulator, that's what they're designed to protect.
Protect the player, make sure that if they're going to do it, they're doing it in a legal and licensed environment. That's great. Well, listen, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much.
Sure,
Let's give a round of applause for Max.
Thanks, guys.
That wraps up our affiliates in maturing markets. Thank you very much.